In the early 1900s, ships sailing into New York Harbor saw something no city on Earth had ever dared to build before. Steel towers pierced the clouds, buildings stacked higher and higher, as if the city itself was trying to touch the sky. People around the world began to whisper about a new kind of city, a place where ambition rose vertically. That place was New York City, and over more than a century, it would create the most famous skyline in human history, the island that ran out of space. The story begins with geography. Manhattan is an island only about 13 miles long and 2 miles wide. By the late 1800s, millions of immigrants were arriving through Ellis Island, and businesses flooded the city. Land became incredibly expensive. Instead of spreading outward like other cities, New York had to grow upward. But building tall in the 1800s was almost impossible. Buildings higher than 6 or 7 stories were difficult to climb without exhausting staircases. Then, 2 inventions changed everything. The elevator that changed cities. In 1854, an inventor named Elisha Otis demonstrated a revolutionary device in New York. He stood on a platform high above a crowd and cut the elevator cable. The audience gasped, but the platform didn't fall. Otis had invented the safety elevator, making tall buildings safe and practical. Suddenly, offices on the 10th or 20th floor were not a nightmare, they were desirable. At the same time, steel frame construction replaced heavy stone walls. Buildings could now rise dozens of floors without collapsing under their own weight. New York was ready to build upward. The birth of the skyscraper. In the early 1900s, skyscrapers began transforming Lower Manhattan. Banks, newspapers, and powerful corporations wanted their buildings to be taller than everyone else's. Height became a symbol of power. One of the first icons was the Woolworth Building, completed in 1913. At 792 feet, it was the tallest building in the world at the time. Its Gothic-style tower looked like a cathedral made for capitalism. People called it the Cathedral of Commerce. But the race to the sky was only beginning. The Great Skyscraper Race. During the 20s and 30s, New York entered an era known as the Skyscraper Race. 2 towers battled for the title of the tallest building on Earth, Chrysler Building and Empire State Building. The Chrysler Building secretly assembled a steel spire inside its tower and lifted it into place in 1929, suddenly becoming the world's tallest building. But its victory didn't last long. In 1931, the Empire State Building rose even higher, 1,454 feet, including its antenna, and became the tallest building in the world for nearly 40 years. It quickly became one of the most recognizable buildings on Earth. Ironically, it opened during the Great Depression, when many offices were empty. For years, people jokingly called it the Empty State Building. Yet, over time, it became a global icon. The twin giants of the 20th century. By the 1960s, New York wanted to build even bigger. The result was the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. Completed in the early 1970s, the Twin Towers became the tallest buildings in the world at the time. For decades, they dominated the skyline and symbolized global finance and American power. But on September 11, 2001, the towers were destroyed during the tragic September 11th attacks. The skyline and the city changed forever. A new skyline for a new century. New York rebuilt. In 2014, a new tower rose where the Twin Towers once stood, One World Trade Center. At 1,776 feet, its height was chosen deliberately, referencing the year of American independence. Today, the skyline continues to evolve with new super-tall towers rising along Billionaires Row near Central Park. Buildings like the slender 432 Park Avenue show how modern engineering allows towers to climb higher than ever before.
The like button.
The skyline that became a symbol. What makes New York's skyline so famous is not just its height. It represents ambition. Millions of immigrants arrived in the city chasing dreams. Businesses fought for dominance. Architects competed to design the next icon. Each tower tells a story about power, innovation, tragedy, and rebirth. Today, when people see the silhouette of Manhattan from the Empire State Building to One World Trade Center, they recognize it instantly. It's more than architecture. It's the visual symbol of a city that never stopped reaching for the sky.